So we're back with a video build, and for this time we're going to go for the EoN Eton glider. Now this is, I think, a German glider which was built under license in the UK by the company EoN. That's what it seems to be, and this is the TX.1, and in Germany it was SG38. It's a very simple model in 1/72, not a lot to it, which was the whole point. I don't mind doing things like this from time to time, and really it gives me an option to build something a little bit different, which is what I wanted to do here. So this is the first glider I've built. I can see there's a couple of places I could have improved it, especially with the wing. You can usually see transparency through the canvas, which I don't do on this one. I just basically spray it silver. But there you go, that's what you get. It is literally one sprue. And you get these little fuselage bits that I won't be needing in my build, so I'm just snipping them away, which reduces it down to a smaller frame. And there you can see you've got the two different bodies that you can put on. They're mainly used for the European ones, from what I can see. I think in the UK it tended to be just as is, like this. So there's a little bit of cleanup to do on the parts, and that's really it. There isn't much to start gluing together or anything. Just carefully removing it from the sprue. Because the whole point of this build for me was to keep cleanliness all the way through it. I'm used to doing a build and then not worrying too much if there's not any sort of precise areas, because usually they're tanks or they're planes and they get a bit dirty. It's not that you're hiding it with the weathering, but you know, it lessens the effect if there is a problem somewhere. Or you can get away with a few bits and bobs here where you get sort of joins and things. But on this, I wanted it to be a nice clean build. So you can see I'm just getting all the parts out. You've got the rudder pedals here. And then we've just got these two little struts left for the horizontal stabilizer on the tailplane there. And that's it. So that's your spares. So to start off, after I've cleaned up the parts, that's running all the way around with a knife to get rid of any seams on all the exposed areas, and also cleaning up any ejector pin marks. It's time to put this horizontal stabilizer on. I'm just using a little bit of Tamiya extra thin there, the quick setting. And we can see it's not quite right, so just levelling it up really by eye, and that looks good enough. What I've actually got is a little bit of a twist in that section behind the sort of main apex triangle bit there behind the seat, and I do sort that out in time. You can see it's just a little bit out, so a little bit of persuasion, and it levels up. So we've got the rudder pedals going on now as well, which are a nice sort of exposed type. It is, I don't know, you know, I don't know what you need to be made of to get into one of these and fly it around, but there we are. Now for the main event, and this is getting that one-piece wing, which is lovely moulded from Special Hobby, and it did take a tiny bit of cleanup. I did have to scrape around with a knife and just make sure there wasn't any flash or anything in there, but once you've done that, you can see the fit is excellent. It slots right in, and just there we are, just getting it joining up with that sort of spar there running out the back. And then it's levelling up with your tailplane. You can see there's already a bit of a twist now because there's a bit of weight on that wing. So you just kind of offer it up a little bit, but you can see the two uprights aren't quite straight. I fixed that just by eye off camera. And then glue this wing up, get it all joined in. And then when I was happy, it was time to spray it with Mr. Surfacer black, which gives a fine finish, that is for sure. And because we're going to be making a silver finish, we need to check over and just make sure everything's right. There's no bits stuck on the wing, there's no debris, everything's nice and clean. We can even buff it down a little bit if we need to. And it's really about preparation for paint. And try not to drop it. So there we are, that's Mr. Surfacer 1500 black. Excellent stuff. I don't use it for everything. I use it if I'm doing dark colours, and certainly as a base for silvers. I'm not sure I'd use it if I was going to do a lighter colour finish. I think that'd be too much like hard work. Once we've got it on and the silver is down, and it's a nice finish from this LP 11, there was a little seam here, which you can see. It was like a semicircle, and it just went across there. And I tried scraping it off. Well, I did scrape it off and sand it back, but it's obviously left just a little bit of an artifact that's showing through on this silver finish. So I do go back and clean that up, and as part of this process I'm going all over the airframe, just checking if there's any seam lines I've missed, because the silver will show it up very easily. Any bits of fluff, any bits of dust or anything that's in there, you can just go ahead and this is your chance now to clean it up. So using sanding sponges and not heavy grits, very, very small, smooth, subtle grits, you can go over and just gently sort of buff it back, get rid of it. Then you need to smooth it back out again. So this is where I've done the most work there. But you can see all these sort of slightly black marks. That's just where I've gone over sanding that silver back a little bit, just to blend it down and make it smooth. In the room I have got a lot of debris at the minute. It's a little bit dusty because I'm a bit on top of myself, and I've got the 3D printer in there as well, which is made it more it's compressed my work surface, let's say like that. So I do need to have a bit of a deep clean, and then that will get some of this debris out of my out of the room, because as soon as you start the airbrush it blows it all up and then it sticks on the wet paint. We've sprayed the silver, put a gloss coat on, and the decals have gone down, and they were excellent, absolutely excellent. You cannot see where the carrier film edge is. So good. Although I must admit, now I'm going to go right back on myself, Special Hobby seem to be moving towards the way Edward are doing decals, where they've got quite a large carrier film around them. They looked very similar, and I was a little bit worried, but I shouldn't have been, because they went down fantastically. Now all we've got to do is just around this fin flash, just paint in those extra colours, which is blue, red and white, because it doesn't quite fit around the edges. Simple stuff. Mix it up, not too thin, not too thick. Paint and just block it in, and it worked very well. It doesn't need now it doesn't have to be bang on, it just needs to be close, because your eye will just blend that in. You won't notice it. As you can see, you can't see the edge. You'll just continue that colour over. It's like a trick of the eye. I've added on some belts there as well. It looks like the fixing point was just above the seat there on the back. And that's bringing us really to the final point, which is rigging. And for that, it's you've got to cross everything you've got. Just showing you here, I've done a little base for it. This is just foam, balsa wood, with filler on top, and then there's going to be static grass. It's just painted brown and static grass glued on. So yeah, with the rigging, I use Ushi Superfine rigging for 1/72, then I've got fine and another type for larger stuff. This is black elastic string, thread, for want of a better word. So it reacts to the super glue. So I've got it there fixed on the rudder pedal, and then I've put super glue on this high point here, which is the attachment for the elevators. And then if you just put super glue on and then you just pull across, it sets a lot quicker than if you just try and place it in the super glue. If you pull that, have that kind of friction across the glue, it always seems to work a lot better. That's all the rigging there. I didn't want to show, this is a nightmare, you can imagine. So I've shown you that one just to show you how it went on, but I did get it all down in the end. Painted the edge of the base black, bit of static grass, 3 or 4 colours, just to give a kind of summery English countryside green. Drop the glider on it, and the rigging disappears because it's so fine. But there we are. It should show up in the photos. So something nice. Again, I'm going for that clean finish. I think I could have improved this by maybe getting the mass set that I think is sold for this and tried to spray in a bit more clarity through the canvas parts and then leave the ribbing this colour. But that's for another build. I've got another glider in the stash. I do like these. It just something a bit sort of cleaner. There's no military link really with this. So it's always a bit refreshing. And there we are. This is the model. So hope that was of interest. It's a nice short video. We've got a few build videos coming up now on a weekly basis. So I'll leave you with these pictures. And as always, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.